Now you finally get into the nitty-gritty of it. So what is the first A of Arrive at Yourself tool? Well, it is actually the hardest step of all of them. But if you get through this, you will get to a new life. And if you do this, you may find that you will have your dream job at the end of it. You may make 2 or 3 times more money than before, and you may be much happier. If you don't do this, however, you will take resentment into everything that you do. You will feel like a victim. You will likely have a much worse job than before. Your friends will not like you anymore because you're whining all the time. Or even worse, they'll be gloating because they think they're better than you. And the losers down at the pub, who have never managed anything in their life, will be your new best friends because you're so much like them. You laugh, but you know what? A lot of people hold on to their problems because that is how they connect. But in the long term, that can really, really hurt you. So what do I mean? I mean, accept. What do I mean by that? Accept where you are and run with it. That does not mean that you cannot fight. It does not mean that you accept what happened as fair. It also does not mean that you are defeated. It just simply means that you accept the reality of the situation exactly as it is, not better, not worse, and you move on to a solution. So you focus 90% of your energy onto the solution instead of the problem, instead of looking at the problem and wondering how it happened. Of course, you can do a little bit of rumination about it and it may actually help you to see how you got to the point where you are right now so that it doesn't happen again. But it doesn't mean that you have to do this for 9 months. Do it for a couple of days, maybe a week. Analyze what happened. Analyze if you can learn something from it. You can also do this during the process again, but do not focus on the problem. Focus on the solution. Focus on where you want to go. It also does not mean that you cannot come back to the situation and deal with it later when you are in a better place. So why is this important? Well, I used to go skydiving. And our parachuting instructor told us when we wanted to land on a field, no matter how big that field is, if there's a tree on the field, do not look at the tree. Because if you're trying to land and you're looking at the tree, you're going to be landing in that tree. It doesn't matter how big that field is, you'll be landing in the tree because that is what you're focusing on, which means that you're unconsciously going towards that tree. It's the same thing if you're driving. If you're driving on the road and there's poles on the side or there's trees on the side and you get skittish, you're skidding a little bit on the street, then what you have to do is you focus on the gap in between the trees or the poles. Because if you focus on the poles or the trees, you're going to end up in that tree. That's just what happens. A lot of speakers use this example of this road in America where they apparently have these poles at the side of the road. And they've got a satellite image of it. And the satellite image shows that 80% of the skid marks go into the poles, which doesn't really make sense because there's huge gaps in between the poles. But apparently people are so afraid of ending up at the poles that they stir towards it. So they kill themselves on the poles instead of just going into the gap. So that is not what you want to do. So don't look at what you fear. Don't look at what happened, what could happen with it, that you're going to get bankrupt and that you don't know how to feed your family. Of course, that is something to be aware of, but don't focus on it. Focus on where you want to go. Now, accepting means letting go. And that can be difficult because you have a feeling that you're kind of validating what is happening and that you lose it forever. And letting go hurts. Letting go means the loss of a social circle. It means the loss of maybe your mates that you went drinking with in the pub. Maybe it's the choir that you were really excited about. Maybe it's the football field, the football game, or maybe the job really gave you meaning in your life, not only structure, but you had a purpose in life. And all of that is all of a sudden gone. And if you let go of that, it seems that in a way you're dying. A lot of people feel that way. But you know what? If you don't let go, the pain will not stop. And letting go doesn't mean that you cannot go back and reconnect once you're in a better place. It is about creating new life now. And then you can go back and connect with your colleagues. They're going to love you much more if you are in a good place and you bring joy to their life. Now, you may still feel that because it was so unfair, you need to hold on to it. But what do you want to be? Do you really want to be a victim? Do you really think that if people see you suffer, they're going to give you your job back? Do you really think you get anywhere by punishing them? That it brings you forward? As said, once you are in the new position that you want to be in, you can still decide what you want to do about the situation. But sometimes you find, if you look back, that if you make 2 or 3 times more money in the new job, maybe you're not going to be so unhappy about having lost it. And sometimes when you look back, when you're not that emotional anymore and you look at the situation, you may also see that there were a few things that you may not have seen before. A few things that you overlooked at the time because you were too emotional. And you may not want to do something about it, or you do. At least you're going to be in a place at that point where you can do something about it, where it's not going to destroy your life. So move on first. So what would happen if you would accept and move on? What wouldn't happen? What wouldn't happen if you wouldn't accept and move on? Now, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a victim, or do you want to be a solution finder? Do you want your life to be a tragedy, or do you want to be an exciting adventure? What do you want to be known as? A whiner, or somebody who can conquer impossible odds? Do you want to be the hero of your own story? It may sound really unrealistic right now, but you know what? It can happen. And it has happened. And it has happened to me as well. And every time, nevertheless, it is hard to let go. And it has happened to me a few times. And I've been the victim and I've been the solution finder. And I can tell you that being the solution finder is a lot more fun. But I do know how hard it is to let go. And sometimes, if the hurt is big enough, you need to let go several times. And sometimes you may have to let go every day, every morning. You may wake up with this horrible feeling every morning, and you have to let go again, and that may go on for quite a while. But if you don't let go and you keep focusing on that, the whole day is going to be gone. You have to find some way to move past that, and people have different ways. Some people use exercise, for example, in the morning, and they go jogging and afterwards they feel much better. Some people have a certain routine, maybe a certain type of breakfast that gets them out of the rut when they wake up. Other people have a visualization. Sometimes if you visualize something very, very intensively, then the body feels as if it actually is happening. They've got studies that confirm this. And sometimes some people get through this by visualizing a scene or a place where they would like to be, or where they would like to end up. That's even better. And they visualize themselves being there and feel the comfort of it. Other people have certain meditative practices. Everybody has something else, and that ties us into the next step, which is R of the Arrive at Yourself tool. Now, what is the next step? The next step is R for relax. Now, what do I mean by that? And why are we relaxing just in the beginning when we just moved past the whole acceptance thing and we're all geared up now? Well, because relaxation is one of the most important things that you can have in this whole process. Because it will be a long process and there will be fear. And fear leads to tunnel vision. And it also leads to burnout if it lasts too long. And finding a new job and getting everything together for it and everything is going to take a long while. So you want to be able to relax in between. And you want to be able to relax at least once a day. Certainly once a week. But usually people do it once a day. And there are different ways of doing this. So people have healthy ways of relaxation and unhealthy ways of relaxation. Now, if you have an unhealthy way of relaxation at the moment, then that is probably what you will be defaulting to. And if that is the only thing that can get you relaxed because you have not developed the skill yet, then you may have to go to this, and especially if you cannot keep yourself from doing it, like drinking alcohol, for example, and drinking a pint. But it is really dangerous in this situation to default to that, because it will probably get more than it was before when you were not stressed. So if you do have to default to something that is unhealthy in the meantime, while you're looking for a healthy alternative, at least put some sort of precautions in place. So if it is drinking, make sure that you're not driving, for example. So do find some way of relaxation that is healthy to you in the long run, and put a time limit of using any kind of unhealthy relaxation devices, even if you cannot let go of them right now. So healthy ways to relax. A lot of people use exercise, and that is one of the best things to do, because it will change your physiology, and it really does work. Especially if you use something like alcohol, for example, to calm down, because alcohol is a depressant, and once you let go of that, all of a sudden you have all this additional energy, which you do need for the change that you want to make, but it can also feed into anxiety, which means if you do exercise instead, it actually helps you not only to pull through with the exercise and maybe lose some pounds to make sure that you have more energy for your change, but it will also get rid of that anxiety. So exercise is a really good way. Another good way is meditation. There are so many different meditation techniques out there. There are a lot of meditation techniques that quiet the mind or let go, or that you just think of nothing, which is not for everybody. If that is not for you, there are other meditation techniques as well that focus on a certain visualization, a certain way of flying through your dream landscape, for example, flying through some wild woods, or flying into the ocean, becoming a fish. And it's amazing how relaxing these kinds of things can be. So there is a lot of different kinds of meditations out there, so just take a look on the internet. That could be really helpful. If that doesn't help you, it may be a certain ritual that you have. It may be as simple as, getting up and getting a certain sort of porridge in the morning. What is really important about relaxation as well is that it gives your subconscious a chance to dream. Because if you're afraid, and in any change you will be afraid at times, and you will have tunnel vision because of that fear at times, and that tunnel vision will just show you one outcome that you go for, and that is what you'll go for, and it will be the closest thing to you, and that may not necessarily what you want to do. So if you give your subconscious a chance to dream, it may see solutions in some other ways that you would not have seen otherwise. And the only way you get there is by relaxation. I will do one right now with you. It is an exercise that I have seen in a lot of different traditions and in a lot of different ways. So take a look if that works for you. So here it goes. Put yourself into a safe space somewhere where you're not interrupted, somewhere where you feel safe and warm. And sit down, or lie down if you like, and close your eyes. Now just watch your breathing, in and out. And breathe deep, in and out, in and out. Now focus on the bottom of your feet, and feel as if a white light or a yellow light enters your feet, and it fills your feet, and it fills the top of your feet, and the light slowly moves up your ankles and your calves. And it feels good, it feels warm, and you can feel your muscles relaxing. And slowly it moves up to your knees, and to your thighs, can feel how the tension slowly leaves it. And the light moves further up, and it warms the body, and it moves further up to the genital area, and then the stomach, and it fills the organs. And you feel this warm glow, and it moves further up and further up to your solar plexus, and then to the heart, and even further up. And now you can feel that it also flows into your fingers on both sides, and into the palms of your hands, and the back of your hands, and up the wrist, and up the lower part of your arms, and goes further up to your shoulders, and it meets with the other light from the body, and together it goes up and relaxes your neck, and all the tension goes away, and it goes further up, and the tension in your face melts away, and the tension in the back of your head melts away, and it goes up to your forehead and up to your crown. And now your body is fully encased in this golden light, which warms your body and takes all the tension out. And the light moves further up to the sky. And now it swells up into the sky, and it comes down again through the crown of your head and flows through your body again, down to your stomach, down your legs, down your toes, and down into the earth. And it swells to the center of the earth, and it comes up again. And every time it comes up your legs, and up your stomach, and your heart, and through the crown of your head, it goes up into the sky, and it comes down again. And now you can feel energy coming from the sky and from the earth at the same time, and they meet in your solar plexus, and they connect, and they mingle, and then they go apart again and go up to the sky, down to the earth. And they come back again, and they fill your body, and your body is full of light, and full of relaxation and warmth and peace. And lie there for as long as you like, and enjoy the feeling of warmth and peace and relaxation and healing. And once you're ready, come back to the room and open your eyes, and you'll feel peace and joy, and you will be ready to move on and move ahead and create your life. You haven't opened your eyes yet, then you will do so on the count of 10. 1, 2,
3. And you can hear the sounds around you. 4. You can feel your skin. 5. You can feel the joy rising in you and the energy rising in you. 6. 7. You become aware of your surroundings. 8. 9. And once you open your eyes, you're going to be in peace. You're going to feel joy. And you're going to be ready to take on life. 10. Open your eyes. Feel your fingers and feel your toes. And wiggle them a little bit. Start stretching. So now you have accepted reality and you are relaxed. What should you now be doing to figure out where to go next? Well, let's put it this way. If you do this, you may figure out what to do to arrive at the life you always wanted. You may end up doing something for money that isn't a job, not even a career, but that is a mission. Something that drives you, keeps you up at night and gets you out of bed in the morning. And not out of fear, but out of excitement and a sense of purpose. Something that you have had a hard time putting down on the weekend because you want to learn and figure out more. If you don't do this, however, you may just end up with another job. Yet something else that steals your time during the week and causes you to wish your life away. Something you have to recover from on Friday night and dread to go back to on Monday morning. What am I talking about? Remember. Remember who you are. So the second R stands for remember. Now that's an anticlimax, you say. I already know who I am. This is my name. I live here. This is what I do for a living, or at least did until now. So what on earth do you mean with that? I mean, remember who you are at your core. Who have you always been? What have you always believed? And sometimes that is harder to figure out than you'd believe, because life just came at us. And a lot of people did what their parents wanted, what their mother expected from them or their father expected from them, even if they weren't necessarily aware of it. Or maybe it was a grandfather, or maybe it was society. Maybe it was simply the pressures of life. You had to make money somehow, and then there was some job around, and people seemed nice, and you kind of got stuck in it. But what was it that really made your heart sing when you were a child? Remember that scene from The Lion King where Simba and Rafiki meet, and Rafiki shows Simba in the little puddle his own reflection, and then all of a sudden there's his father who says, "Remember who you are." It is quite like that. But it may also explain why you may not want to remember, because if you remember the story, Simba did go back and he became the king. He became the Lion King, and the story of life started again. But before he became the Lion King, he had to face his mother, and he had to face Scar, and he had to fight Scar. Maybe there's something that you are really meant to do, and maybe you know what it is deep down inside your soul somewhere, but you know that it's going to be hard. Because anything worth doing is likely going to be hard. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to stretch yourself to get there. But what is it? Do you have an idea? If you don't, there is a way to uncover it. And sometimes it takes several times. We do have a meditation that we do at the end. And what is really important for it is that you are in the right state of mind for it. So it must be somewhat positive state of mind, some state of expectance. Because research has shown that if you're in a bad state of mind, then you will also remember bad things. If you're in a good state of mind, you are more receptive to good things. Now, there are different ways of how you can put yourself into a good mood. You can do some exercise, or you can dance, or you can watch your favorite movie. You can watch a comedy. Just do something that makes you feel really good before you start doing this. Something that makes you feel really energized, really energetic. Do whatever it takes. And then you can do this exercise. You can do other exercises too. You can go on a walkabout. Some people go on a walkabout for years to find themselves and to find out who they are. But sometimes it's enough to do this meditation to just get an inkling, maybe, of which direction to go into. You may not immediately see where it is going to lead. It may just be a very fuzzy picture somewhere in the distance. And then you do this meditation again, maybe in a couple of months or so, and it's going to become a little bit clearer. And then you're going to see somebody maybe in a seminar, and all of a sudden it becomes clearer again, and then you see a possibility that you didn't see before. And again, a few months later, when you've taken some action, all of a sudden a door opens, something that you didn't think of before. And the more often you do this, the more often you meditate about it, the more often you do something to find out where you're supposed to go. Something happens, something opens inside. And eventually you will see the picture. You may not know how to get there yet, but you will see where you're meant to go, and all of a sudden you're going to know. And you know when it sings inside you, when this energy opens, all of a sudden you will know this is the thing you're meant to do. This is the thing that would make everything so much better for you and for your loved ones. It is there somewhere. You just need to try and find it. So put yourself into a great state. Somehow, do this exercise, do dancing around, do eat your favorite food, whatever it is for you, but something that keeps you energetic. And then close your eyes. We'll wait for you until you're ready. Close your eyes and then continue the tape. Now remember to dream big and don't limit yourself. Just think of everything that you could think of that you wanted to be as a child. What excited you? What did you want to be? What were you when you were playing with the other kids? What kind of games were you playing? Which ones did you like? Why did you like them? Did you want to be an astronaut? Or a fireman? Or a sheriff? Or did you want to be a doctor? What did you want to be when you grew up? And why? What kind of feeling did you want to get out of it? How did you want to be looked at by other people? What did you want to contribute to the world? What feeling did you want to get out of it? Now maybe you didn't become this, but why was it? Didn't you have the skills maybe at the time? Maybe not the money? Or somebody told you to become something else? Do you have the skills now? Did you get them through another job? Do you have the money now, maybe, to go for it? Even if you don't, what kind of feeling did you want to get out of it? Could you get this feeling through something else? Say if you wanted to be an astronaut, why did you want to be an astronaut? Did you want to go somewhere where nobody had gone before? Did you want to have an adventure? Did you want to serve humanity? Could you now find something else to do that would give you exactly the same feeling? How many other things are there that you could do that would give you exactly the same feeling? It doesn't really matter what vehicle you use to get to that feeling. It just matters that you get there, that you get that sense of contribution, that sense that you fulfilled the purpose of your life. What is there that you could do to get that feeling? How would you feel if it actually came true. Now put yourself into a rocking chair at the end of your life, and you think back as an old woman or an old man, what happened in your life and what you became. Now remember this moment, and remember you had a chance to make a choice, to go for it or not. How would you feel if you knew you had a chance to go for it, to go for your dream, for that which you always wanted to do, and you didn't? What would you think about yourself? Would there be disappointment? Would there be regret? That you could have tried this, but you were too timid? What would you think of yourself? On the other hand, what would you think of yourself if you went for it? If you just did it? If you just made a decision to go for it and make it work somehow? And then you would. And you can see your life, how initially you didn't really know how to make it work, but then you found a way, and then you found another step, and you found another step, and you went for it, and it worked, and you got there. And it was so exciting, and you stood there and you couldn't believe that you finally got where you always wanted to be. And how did it feel? How did you feel about yourself? How did other people feel about yourself? What did your family think of yourself? What did your friends think? Do you have new friends now? Who are you with? Where are you? How exciting! How exciting does it feel? Now, why wouldn't you go there? Maybe because people could laugh at you, but would you really care? Why would you care if you could get there, if people laugh at you for a second? What if you could get there? What if you could make it work? Just take it in. Just look around. Look at yourself in the mirror. And look at yourself, how proud you are of yourself. Now you don't know yet how to get there, but you know this is what you want to be. Now what could you contribute in this state to society? What have you contributed? Why was the world a better place? Because you have lived. What have you given to other people, to the environment, to animals, to anybody around you? What have you given that wouldn't have been there had you not lived? See it, take it in. Now slowly come back into this room. Feel your fingers and feel your toes and wiggle them a little bit. Start stretching and open your eyes. How did this feel? Was it an exciting experience? Did you find out something about yourself that you forgot, maybe? You don't really need to know how you could get there at this moment. You just need to know what you're aiming for. You don't even need to know the vehicle that you're going to be using. Maybe you're thinking of being an astronaut right now, but in reality you're going to be a deep sea explorer. Or maybe you're going to go into the depths of psychology of people. Whatever it is, whatever you want it to be, it doesn't really matter how you get there. It matters that you get there, that you fulfill your purpose. So now you've got a little bit of an idea of where you want to go. Now it's time to figure out how to get there. And this is what we're going to do in the next tape. See you next time.